that every hour and 45 minutes, someone is willing to commit suicide. People get overwhelmed by very difficult times in their life, and people take these perspectives and put them into play, while others tend not to know how to deal with these situations and lead to suicides. Just a few days ago, a girl by the name of Megan Huntersworth took her life by running into a moving train coming in on her in full impact. She was only 15 years old. Another girl by the name of Megan Meyer took her life by hanging herself in her bedroom closet because of a boy she thought liked her on the internet, but who she was portrayed her in her worst estate. A 41-year-old man shot himself in his car that day because he lost his job. Even someone I know committed suicide by shooting herself as well. These are by far the most saddest things that we could ever hear, and these things shouldn't be happening at all. But the questions we should ask ourselves is, what is suicide, what leads to suicide, and how we can prevent it? Suicide is the cause of someone harming, hurting, or attempting to kill themselves due to depression, stress, judgment, or bullying. See, the thing is, we forget what suicide really is. It's not an end to itself. It doesn't relieve us of the pain that we're so desperate to get rid of. Instead, it just transfers the pain to our friends and family. People nowadays shouldn't judge someone or make jokes about that certain person. Because for that person to be going through what they are, and for you to worry them with hate and jealousy towards that person, leaves that person not wanting to deal with all the anger and the guilt and the pain that they have been feeling. So they commit suicide. There was a person that I knew who had to deal with very hard situations in her life. She had to deal with school and the people in her school about how they didn't like her and made her feel as though she was an outcast. She never really talked to people about it. One day, she couldn't take it all and killed herself in her bedroom that night. It was not only a hard time for me, but her other friends and her family as well. Just because a person doesn't ask for help doesn't mean help isn't wanted from that person. There was once 30,000 people who committed suicides. Now think of how many people commit suicides today. Exactly, a lot. There was a big TED talker who inspired me, and his name was J.D. Scranton. He was a professor at a university, and what he told me was he had students who were dealing with suicide and also attempted suicide. There was a quote from him that I embarked on, and the quote was, "When people try to assemble themselves back into life after a suicide attempt, because of our taboos, we're not so sure what to think. So quite often, we say nothing at all, and that furthers the isolation." This quote was very understanding to me about how a person can keep the feelings and the pain that they are feeling and facing inside because they feel as though they are not wanting to talk about the situation. But what they don't know, and this is the first step to preventing suicide itself, is about speaking about your problems. Speak up if you are to think that this is the right choice for you, or you are to think as though you do not want to be on this earth at all. Because if you don't, this can make your choices and your decisions much harder than they are right now. Let's get these suicide hotlines out here even more, all over the world, so that people could understand and get help from people about their problems. I interviewed J.D. Scranton, and he said something to me that really made me feel as though this is the true answer to suicide. And this is what he said.
Okay, and for the last question, do you believe that what do you believe could be done to prevent suicide from becoming an even bigger problem than it is now?
The biggest thing is making it safe for people to talk. Making it possible for people to have conversations, and if somebody says that they're struggling with it, to hear them out and listen to them and help them get to resources. But the biggest thing that all of us can do is just listen.
Okay, and
He said a huge prevention way that we could prevent suicide is by just listening. If we could just listen for just a second to what people have to say, then maybe, just maybe, we can change lives with suicide today. Stop romanticizing suicide. It's not cute, it's not funny, and it's not tragically beautiful. Make a change, say